Alright, so final workout of the 5th week of the summer bulk. And as always, we'll get started with the Bible verse of the day. Today's Bible verse comes from 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 58. Therefore, my beloved brothers, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that in the Lord your labor is not in vain. Another Bible verse that emphasizing that God has called us to work hard here on earth, whether that be, independently, corporately, doing work for others, volunteer work, all those different kinds of work. God tells us to do to our best of our abilities. So, definitely something that I take very seriously and definitely apply, to my life. With bodybuilding, with being a fitness influencer, and then soon enough officially becoming a personal trainer. People say, if you do what you love, that's not working. Which makes sense. I get that, but there's something about, always striving for more, always wanting to do more, never being satisfied. That's just the mindset that I have with all this stuff. I know that I'm doing all this not just for myself, but not for myself at all, but to glorify God and to thank Him, for all these abilities and talents that He's given me to be able to use this social media platform, even though I'm just starting out, to spread His word, most importantly, and then secondly, to do what I love and, enjoy just going hard in the gym and helping other people improve on their fitness journey. So that's what I take from today's Bible verse. Workout-wise, Saturday as always, we've switched up a little bit. So start with some calves, we'll get into arms. So I'll get in there. Bit of an early start today, no problem at all. Feeling pretty good. 2 scoops of the Gorilla Mode strawberry kiwi pre-workout and the Helo Mix. We'll get that down, head in there, get warmed up, get things going, and I'll see you guys in the gym. Alright, so first movement, and the only movement for calves, will be the calf raises on the calf machine. I'm not sure if there's a better word or a better way to describe these, but that's what I call them. So the rep range with these, being only that I do one working set, is 15 to 30 reps. Same rep range that I do with the accessory movements whenever I hit legs, leg extensions, or hamstring curls. And we jumped up in weight last week, so most likely going to be within the 15 to 20 rep range, which is, where we want to be. We're pushing the weight, but at the same time, still within that 15 to 30 rep range, which is ideal for us. And I just suggest doing that with really any leg movement that's not a compound movement. Because with my compound movements, I'll stick with 5 to 10 reps, but accessory leg movements, this being one of them, 15 to 30 reps with this training style, low volume, high intensity, is definitely the way to go. So definitely suggest implementing that rep range into your routine with accessory leg movements. Alright, so first movement for arms today. We'll always start with triceps before biceps, so we'll start with the tricep pushdowns with the V-bar attachment. I implemented this new attachment into the routine instead of the straight bar a couple weeks ago, and I've just felt a better contraction in my triceps, so I definitely suggest switching over to the V-bar if you guys are using the straight bar. And just to kind of explain what parts of the tricep these pushdowns hit. So the pushdowns are going to hit all three heads of the tricep, the long head, the medial head, and the lateral head. So with this training style, obviously there's not a lot of sets, there's not a lot of movements, different movements. We want to be able to be as efficient as possible. So a movement like this where it's hitting all three heads of a certain muscle, in this case it being the tricep, definitely want to take advantage of this and have this in our routine. I don't see myself taking this out of my routine anytime soon, so I definitely suggest you guys throw this one in your routine. Alright, so the second and final movement for triceps today will be a new movement, but not a new movement because I was doing this months ago. Probably around, 4 to 6 months ago I was doing this, so it's been quite some time, but not exactly sure why I switched off of it, because I felt good then, but I've definitely made an adjustment here with it to make it even better, and that is to bring the bar behind my head with the skull crusher here, not at my forehead or at my face. Being that it's called the skull crusher, you see people bringing it down to just their face, but to be able to get a much deeper stretch on your triceps, specifically with this movement and any overhead extension movement, you're really focusing on hitting the medial and lateral heads of the triceps, not so much the long head. However, much deeper stretch here, and you're really going to feel it. So I highly suggest throwing this in your routine. And you see I have my feet elevated up on the seat there, to just, be able to have more stabilization and focus more on the overhead extension movement here, the skull crushers. So yeah, the key point of focus here is bring the bar behind your head, not at your head or at your face. You're going to get a much deeper stretch. And whenever you're focusing on that fully stretched position, you're focusing on getting a very deep stretch with whatever movement you're doing. That ultimately is going to lead to more and quicker muscle growth. So definitely a point of focus that I suggest you guys implement in your training routine. And yeah, this is a great movement. I don't see myself switching off of this, maybe ever. I mean, I've been kind of testing out some different overhead extension movements the past couple months, so I think I found, my two go-to movements here. So definitely see myself keeping this in the routine for the near future at least. So definitely suggest throwing this in. Alright, so first movement for biceps today will be hammer curls. And what these hammer curls are hitting is the brachialis in the bicep. So if you guys aren't doing any kind of hammer curl variation, you definitely need to be doing that. It's really going to give you that width in your bicep, make it a lot bigger. So highly, highly suggest, if you're going to do any hammer curl movement, utilize a cable with the rope attachment. My gym has the fat grips on it here, which is definitely a plus, taking the grip strength out of it. So highly suggest throwing this in. So the next movement for biceps will be the alternating dumbbell curls on the incline bench. Again here, very deep stretch on the targeted muscle, being that we're using the incline bench instead of just sitting up straight. We're not having anything supporting us behind us. So yeah, very deep stretch here. And you can make it even better by lowering the bench even more. So definitely suggest throwing this in the routine. Alright, so the next movement for biceps will be the barbell curls, standing up against the bench here. The reason I'm standing up against the bench is to take any momentum out of the movement, to focus more on the biceps, the targeted muscle. And as you guys can see, whenever I'm bringing the barbell up at the top there, top of the movement, I'm lifting my elbows just up a little bit, and that is, another way that biceps can contract. So just that little movement there at the top, can really make a big difference for you guys. So definitely suggest making that little adjustment and, just getting a better contraction in your biceps there. So definitely suggest implementing that into your routine. Alright, so the final movement for arms will be for forearms specifically here, and that's just going to be reverse curls. Similar to what we were doing before, but we're not bringing the bar up as high because, the forearms aren't really going to contract, bringing the bar up as high as I was with the barbell curls, lifting the elbows up. But, very good movement here. Been doing this for a while and always feel a very good contraction. And I'm using the wrist wraps there just to support my wrist more, just to avoid any injuries. So definitely suggest getting a pair of those if you don't have any, and definitely suggest throwing reverse curls into your routine. Alright, so the final movement for today's workout will be the weighted leg raises, and then a drop set after of unweighted leg raises. So again, similar to the calf raises we did at the beginning and other accessory leg movements, the rep range for core will be 15 and 30 reps, as I'm only doing this twice a week, 2 sets a week, well, 4 sets technically. 2 weighted sets, 2 unweighted sets. You guys get the gist. So the reason for that rep range is I'm not doing a ton of sets for core specifically. I'm not doing a ton of movements, so that rep range just makes sense for the muscle that it is and how much volume that we're doing with it. So I highly suggest you guys do not train your core more than twice a week. That also depends on what training style that you do. I'm definitely going to suggest my training style, over high volume, because a common theme these days is people think that you have to train for so long, 6-7 days a week. That's not the case. If you need to train with intensity if you want to make progress, if you want to see gains. As a natural lifter, this training style, I feel, and I believe, is the best over high volume and, some intensity, but not a lot. So low volume, high intensity, I think is the way to go. So definitely suggest switching over to this if you guys haven't. But that'll do it for today. I'll see you guys next week for the 6th week of the summer bulk. God bless.